Hello, Celeste. So, hello everybody. Thank you for joining me today. I was going to do a training on how to personalize your website, but with the change and everything coming from Powerhouse into Impact, I decided I better do a quick basic class all over again, just to make sure that everybody is comfortable with how to get into Impact and how to maneuver around. I am not going to do any kind of like in-depth training on all the different aspects of it. Today, I really just want to show you where everything is, how to maneuver around your dashboard, where to go to update your profile, and a few other things like that. Starting again next week, I'll start breaking it down into piece by piece, and then we'll just go through it again, breaking it down even smaller than that. So the very first thing I want to do is I'm going to share my screen. And I'm going to let you know how to actually get into Impact. So to get to Impact, the first thing that you're going to do is in the URL, you're going to type in impact.garygreen.com. That will take you to the login. Your login should be your Gary Green email. Like mine is lindak@garygreen.com. A lot of you, especially that have joined later on in years, I've been with the company forever, so it was a little bit different back then. But now going forward, most of the time it's going to be your first dot last name @garygreen.com. The password, if you have not set it already, then all you have to do is do a forgot password right here, and then it will send you an email to your Gary Green email and allow you to reset that. Once you do that, then you're good to go. And then you just hit login, and it's gonna, sure it is. Let's try that again. There we go. Sorry about that. Okay, I have to move my little pictures down. There we go. Okay, when you log in, what you're going to see is the dashboard. Mine looks a little bit different than yours because the office staff and managers all have access to everything. So I'm going to log into what would be mine if I was a practicing agent. Okay, so here's my dashboard. This is what yours should look like. When you log on, I'm just going to give you a quick overview. Up in the top right corner, you're going to see your name, your email address, and then there's going to be a drop-down menu. We'll get to that in just a second. Right here, today's summary. When you start using this for your client, your leads, and everything like that, depending on the campaigns that you have them dropped in, or depending on how you start utilizing it, if you have tasks and phone calls to make and you have them scheduled on a particular day, they're going to show up right here. Sharon has been amazing at using this for recruiting. So we have the agents that she's recruiting in here, and we have them set on campaigns. So every morning when Sharon logs in, she comes to her dashboard and it will tell her how many calls that she has and if she has any tasks for the day. And this keeps her on task, actually. Right here in the middle, you're going to see a box. It's called Company Announcements. Also, what is in here is trainings. When we talk about the learning portal, I'm going to bring you back to this particular box, and we'll talk about that just a little bit more. The company, I know as a whole at the corporate level, will start using this also. And as you see, I'm just clicking the arrow, and I'm looking for one in particular there was a training that we did with John Chiplak way back when, and I thought they put that on here, but I may be wrong. Let me just go back the opposite way for just a second. Oh, I guess not. Okay. So they'll be using that a little bit more, and they'll be dropping more trainings into this company announcements. To the right where it says KV Core Training, if yours doesn't say Agent Success Plan, as soon as you log in to start working on the training in the learning portal, it's going to show right here. What you have in the middle, this is where all of your clients, your leads, your prospects, all of that are going to start showing up. Wendy was testing the system, and guess what? She clicked on one of my websites a couple of times, and the system did capture her as a lead. So just so you know, it does work. Jackie is a friend of mine who lives in Michigan. She is my test person. I am following her as she works with the system just to see how exactly it works. Michael, you know, is my husband. He's my other test pattern. I've set him up as a seller or a future seller. So when we put our house on the market in many, many years from now, then I'll know how it works with the seller. So anytime you see people on here, this is where if they're out on your website or things like that, and they're using, clicking on it, there's behavioral automation, the artificial intelligence that we keep talking about in all of our office meetings. This is where they start showing up. Again, I'm not going to go into too much detail here until we start breaking it down into those smaller trainings. But when you log on every morning or in the evening or whenever you choose to, this is where you're going to start seeing those particular leads. Just for a second, I'm going to switch over and go back to the company site just because I want to show you a couple of different things. So these are actually leads and things like that, or that are clicking around on the agent's websites. And this is where Sharon and I or any of the staff can go on and see who's coming in and out. As you can see right here, same thing, Margie O'Day was testing the system. If you're going to test the system, please do not use your Gary Green email address. The system already knows who you are. You can either use your personal email address or have a friend or a spouse log on and let them use theirs. It does some little bit of wonky things with how the system processes you because you're already in here. So it was just kind of like when Sharon was testing out the system and we sent out a mass text from Sharon, because you were already in the system. A lot of you got a notice that said that you're already in the system. So if you want to test it out to see what it does, find a friend like I did in Michigan, or find, you know, like I said, your spouse, and use a personal email address, because if you're already in the system, it is going to catch that. When you have a client, I just wanted to show this real quick. When you have a client that is hot and heavy on your website, do you see this one right here where there's a little flame? That right there is telling you that your client is hot, that they are out there, they are on your website, they are engaging with you, and you really need to be working with them. That's one of those little symbols. I'm going to switch this back to me. So going back to what your agent website looks, or agent dashboard looks like, it's going to look like this. It is only going to show you your clients. Okay. Let's go over to the right hand side, and we're going to, let me jump back. Right here in the middle where it says new lead. Somebody needs to mute. I'm not sure who that is. I think, okay. Right here in the middle where it says activity, then it says calls. If I had calls to make, this is where it's going to show up. If you have calls, and let's say they were due today and you didn't get to them, they're going to show up here under your past due calls. If you have calls coming up, right here where it says upcoming calls, When you click on that, it's going to show that there's a call coming up going forward. Right here is going to tell you that you or myself, I've done 100% of my calls and I have no more calls to make today. Under task, when you start using the program and you start using the campaigns, especially with the active buyers, and if you utilize the seller campaign and you give yourself certain tasks to do, then those tasks are going to show right here whether you did them or whether you didn't. The calendar. Is not pulling up. It may be that I don't have my calendar synced here. That's probably it. Under my business, okay, right here, when we were talking about everything being transferred from Powerhouse into Impact and getting everything in one location for you, you're going to find it in one of two places, either up here under the quick actions little green box, or right here in the middle under my business under company cloud. Right here are the logins to Property Boost. Now there's two different boosts. This Property Boost right here is the one that's actually in KV Core /Impact. If you use this one, there is a fee for that. When you think about the one that we talk about all the time, where you can boost your listings for free for 3 days, corporate has now put a quick link in here for you, Boost by HomeSpotter. When you click on this, it will take you to HomeSpotter, and that's the same place that you used to go a couple of weeks ago to boost your listings for free for 3 days. The Express Docs that Elizabeth and everybody was talking about yesterday, here's the button to get you into Express Docs. Again, there's Impact, Happy Fox. We do have a button for Greenhouse. As I was talking to Tony and Pam Levinson before I started the recording, and some of you weren't on yet, Greenhouse, there are still a few things if you wanted to do in Greenhouse that you can do. Greenhouse is not going away. That is our national website. That is our national company. There are still trainings in there if you'd like to take those. HomeSpotter is in there, obviously, and the bhgre.com website is through there. We add your picture, and if we have your bio when we signed you up, or within there, if we had your bio, we added it to that site, and so it's in there also. We're kind of looking at that, making sure that the site looks good, so we'll double check to see if there's anything that's missing. The Gary Green store is right here. When you click on that, it takes you to the store. You can buy t-shirts and mugs and personalized items like that.
Linda?
You work a lot with tenants and everything. My Smart Move, they created the link right there for you. Power Desk, that is the button that you will click on to go to if you want to know what your production is, your office bill, and things like that. If you want to use the CRM, the Smart CRM on your phone, they've added links like that for you already. There's Android, and then there's the iPhone. If you want to get into Back Agent, who has, I just got a chat that somebody has a question, but I'm not sure who it is.
Linda, it's,
Yes.
I'll ask my question. It's Tony. You got to this through the quick access menu drop down, correct?
I'm sorry?
You got to this through the quick actions drop down, correct?
No, I did not. I got this right here through my business.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. So here is Back Agent, showing times, zip forms, the spam console where your email goes if it got caught. So if an agent says, hey, I've sent you something 3 times and you're saying I haven't gotten it, it may be right here. If you use webmail instead of the desktop Outlook, this is where you can access webmail. Here's the link to your Real Satisfied. If I click on webmail, it opens it up to a new window. Oh, I think I tried to get in as the Levinsons once. Anyway, this is what it's going to be. You're going to put in your username and your password, and then it will take you to webmail. If you click on Back Agent, it's going to take you to Back Agent. Now, if you don't want to go into Impact every time and click on Back Agent, you can right here. If you use Chrome, do you see where there's a star up here at the very top? If you can, it may be that our pictures are covering it and you can move the pictures. But if you see the star right here, you click on that and it will bring up bookmarks. You can say Back Agent, hit done. And when you do, if you look at my bookmarks bar, well, I actually have them divided into folders, but you can put, whoops, wrong one, real estate. You can put Back Agent right here on your toolbar. It shows up right there, and then all you have to do is click on Back Agent without going into Impact, and it will take you into Back Agent.
Linda, you're in Chrome, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I know that you guys, some of you have Macs. Tony, can you do the same thing if you're using your, is it Firefox? No, what is it on a Mac?
Safari?
Safari. Can
Yes.
you bookmark it for Safari?
Yes, you can either use, there's a little book and you can do it that way, or you can drag and drop your destination website to the bar itself.
Okay, so anything that you click on here, you can bookmark and put on either your Chrome or whatever web browser you're using. Most of our stuff works better in Chrome. So if you're using Mozilla or Safari or even Internet Explorer, and it doesn't work well, please know that if you go and you switch to Chrome, it will work better. So again, I got to that by logging in. Right on my dashboard, there's activity, which shows you all of your clients, all of your prospective leads, what kind of calls you have, what kind of task, and my business. Okay. One of the nice things about my business too is it starts showing you if I had any new leads come in, they would show up here. How many active leads do I have? 3. Please note that that is my husband and my best friend from Michigan. They are considered active leads. How many people I have classified as clients. Back Agent is not linked to here. There is a platform that is, we are not using that. As far as I know, Back Agent's not going away. But if you have a contact in here and you have marked them closed, this is what this button right here means. It's not a closed transaction that you closed in Back Agent. You have taken a lead and marked them closed. Okay, now, is there any questions about the dashboard? You can unmute yourself and ask or throw something in the chat box. If not, I'm going to move on. Okay, so let's go up here to the top right corner. You are going to click on your name. When you do, it brings up a drop-down menu. This number right here, the 281-729-6759, is the Impact Smart number. It's a telephone number that's associated with Impact. When a client calls in for more information, this number does not show up on your website at all. It's for the company website. When a client calls in and asks for information, if that client is already in the system, then that call gets routed to that particular agent. If the phone number is not in the system at all, then it goes into what we used to call lead router. And then everybody that's in getting, like we have with lead router phone calls, we have that round robin. Then it starts going around in that system until somebody accepts the lead. One of the things that we train on is that you take this phone number and just like you did with lead router and Zap, save it to your phone, save it to a particular ringtone, so that if your phone rings with the Saints come marching in, you know that it could conceivably be a lead and you need to answer that phone call right away. Next, you're going to see your website. Your website is going to be your name without the period in it, .garygreen.com. Agents get a little confused and they think it's the same as their email address. It is not. It is your first name and last name, .garygreen.com. And I will show you that in just a second. Let's see if I click here. Perfect. When you click on it, it should take you to your website. I just wanted to make sure it didn't take me out of the page. Can everybody see my website? Say yes. Billy, can you see my website? Your picture I can see. Thank you. Okay.
Yes, we can see it.
This is what your websites look like. There's some things that you can do to it to change it, to personalize it. We'll go over that in a later class. But these are some of the things. Your picture comes up in the middle. Your bio comes up here. If I click on read more, then it pulls up my information. Here's your bio. I recommend not making it too long, but there it is. Then here's your information. As you can see, that smart number does not show up. This is, except for right here under office number, but it shows up as, here's my cell phone, here's my direct dial. I'm going to show you where to put this information in under profile. Okay. If I had listings and I clicked on this, it would view all my listings. I have my social media linked to that. And there is that. I'm going to click the back button. When I scroll down, it does talk about the office. It does have the office picture and the office information right there. It has featured champions neighborhoods. I've had agents ask me if these can be changed out, or not changed out, but changed around. I know that there are some agents where Glenlock is their top one, or the champions areas is. I don't know. I'm still waiting for an answer for that. If you have your own listings, your listings are going to show up next. I don't have any, so they're not there. Then next is going to view our listings. These are the company listings. Your agent reviews, I'm going to talk to you about that a little bit later. Depending on how you put them in, they're either going to show up here, or there's going to be a button up at the very top, and you can link whether you do HAR surveys, real satisfied surveys. There's a way to link those. The company has just reduced prices on here. These are the areas that the Champions office covers. When you click see more, there they all are. So it's pretty much everywhere. And then down here is just the bottom. And again, this is the office Facebook page and the office Instagram page. Mine are up at the top. These are way at the bottom. You click here, it takes you to the office, or takes you to the consumer protection. Right here, I spent quite a few hours this weekend going in, making sure that the IABS links are yours. Please click on them just to make sure that, like, I didn't have a sleepy moment and put somebody else's theirs. If I did, please email me real quickly and I will go in and change those out. I had about 180 of them to do, so I'm hoping that they're all right, but they should be. Does that make sense to everybody? Okay. How do you get this information? Did I hear a question?
I do. Linda, I would just have a question. You know, I remember seeing some of the websites, company websites of some of the kind of seasoned agents where they put blogs or videos on their websites. Is there a place on that website to do that?
Yes.
Where would that be?
Okay, well, that's going to be a much deeper class, but I am going to show you a couple of places for that.
Okay.
But I will do, that's what I was going to do today, and then we had to change it, was the website page. But yes,
Okay.
There's different things that you can do to personalize it, but that in itself is its own class. So,
all right, sounds good. Thank you.
You're welcome. So I'm going to go back to the KV Core, to your impact dashboard, and right up here again, top right corner. When you click on that and it says my profile, this is where you're going to click, and this is where it brings up your profile. This right here is where you're going to do some of the personalization, and what you're going to do is you're going to click edit, And right here is where you're going to start changing the information. Right here, you're going to put your name. You're going to put in your title, and you can put in realtor. You can put in realtor associate. You can put in where I have manager agent support. Right here is your agent MLS ID with HAR. Please do not change this. When we first launched this, people started going in here and putting in their HAR license number. But that messed things up. What this does right here, this is how you are linked to HAR Intermatrix. This is how the website knows to pull in your listings. I had a couple of agents whose listings weren't showing up, and it took me forever to figure out what they had done. And what it is they changed their MLS ID and put in their license number. This is your NERDS number that's located on your HAR membership card, and or you can get to it through your HAR site. Right here, you're going to put in your cell phone. This is where you start linking all of your social media. If you don't have social media, that's fine. You can always link it at a later time, but this is where you're going to link it. Direct dial, this is where I put my office desk number, because I actually do have a direct dial to my desk phone. If you don't, then don't worry about putting anything on there. Your email address. Some of you have outside, like Beth Eaton has betheaton@betheaton.com. If you change this email address, just realize that this is now, you've changed how you log into Impact. Impact is based on whatever email address you put in here. Okay, right here, you're going to put the email address of where you want the emails to show coming from. I obviously want them to show coming from my Gary Green one. Right here is your website. Again, it's your first and last name .garygreen.com. If you have a personal website, you can put that there. We're not recommending putting in lenders, like putting Stacy or any of those things on there right now. We're just not recommending that. Right here, where you, if you have alphabet after your name, like I am a GRI, so I definitely put that in here. If you have a luxury home specialist, you can put that on there. If you have the CNE, you can put that on there. Just go through here, and you can have more than one, and you can start putting whatever those are on there. And as you saw, it showed up after my name at the thing. Right here is where you're going to put in your bio. You can just copy and paste. If you have your IABS linked, I'm sorry, wrong place. You're going to put your bio there. If you don't have one, or you're waiting for one to come back from corporate, pop in a couple of at least 3 or 4 little lines about yourself. Doesn't have to be anything major, just a couple of little things in there so that a bio will show up on your website. Right here is where you're going to put in your signature. If you already have one, that is fine, just copy and paste it. If you're copying and pasting the IABS links, and you're copying and pasting it from your email address, it will paste over here. If you already have a JPEG, like this is my JPEG that I had corporate make, all I had to do was click insert image. And then I went into upload, and I found it wherever I had it saved on my desktop. I brought it in, I said, okay, lo and behold, there it is. Okay, everybody okay so far? Okay. I'm still waiting for some feedback out about this. You can put different information in here, but as you can see right here, it says that it's for information only purposes. This doesn't show up anywhere on your website. So I did kind of ask them, then why are we putting it there if it doesn't show up anywhere? And I'm still waiting for a response back from that. But I guess if you wanted to put on here just for your own recollection, hey, don't forget I have a master's degree or whatever from New York University or something, then I guess if you click on this, you can remember to tell people, oh, I have a master's. But again, I'm not sure what that's there for. Right here, you can you can do the click down and say that you're an agent licensed assistant. If you're a broker, broker assistant, a realtor, you can click that and it changes it to realtor, and you can choose that. Remember when I showed you my website, and when I went to my information, it had my license number after my name? If you don't want to put that on there, you just take it off and say save. And then when you do that, and I go back to my website and I do a refresh and I say read more, oh, well, I haven't cleared my cookies. It will take it off of here. I just need to clear my cache in order for it to do that. It's now remembered it, but that's where that shows up and you can take that off. The other thing on here under the actions button to the right, again, I am on my profile, and over here to the actions button, right here is where I can change my password. I can send an email from here, or I can hide, but we don't want to do that. Under the settings tab, this is really great for you, because this, when you start working with the Smart CRM, again, that's a class for later use. I don't want to get too much in the weeds. Today, my objective was just to get agents in here, especially since things have changed. When you start using the Smart CRM, remember I said when you log into your dashboard and it would show you how many calls you had. Right here is where you can set that to say, set me X amount of phone calls a day to make, whether it's 2, 3, 10, and what time do you want to be reminded to make those calls. This is where it's going to be. Again, we'll go into that later, but that's where that shows up. Also too, the other thing that's on here, I think that's it for settings. So there's actions where you can change your passwords, or settings, which we'll go into at a later time, of where you can set up how many calls you want it to remind you to make a day when you really want to start using your database, and things like that. Are there any questions? I don't see anything in the chat box. Are there
Linda, I might say that, and somebody else might say this, is like if I see some new people on here. So we went over a lot. So if I'm brand new and I don't remember all this, would you just, could there ever be a workshop? I don't know if that would be feasible, that everybody's doing it at the same time. That probably wouldn't be. Or do you suggest that they look at the recording and then stop the record? Like, do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
Is there a step-by-step thing where you're brand new, do this first, do this second, go here third, or should we create that, or what?
It's already created.
Okay.
So, and that's what I've been, Sean and I have been working on the past few weeks. We've already broken it down into classes for you. And I'm also going to show you on the left-hand side, I'm going to show you those other tabs. Not only have I broken it down for you in smaller pieces, KB Core has also. Also too, Sharon and I and Angela and all of us are working on a YouTube channel where we're going to actually drop all these recordings. So you're going to have numerous places to see it. Also too, it's like Sharon's favorite line, it's like drinking out of a water hose or a fire hydrant. Today, I'm showing you an overall picture, and then we start breaking it down piece by piece. Okay. So if there's no questions on those at the moment, again, when you log in, the first thing that you're going to see is your dashboard. And let me just get back to mine. I always find it's easier. So when you log in, you're going to see your dashboard. And these are going to be your leads and your clients. To get to your profile, that was over here in the top right corner, and you're just going to click and do the drop down. And then what you're also going to see is on the left hand side, this is your menu bar. If you, like I was on my profile a minute ago, if this is where you are and you want to get back to your dashboard, All you have to do is look to the left and click dashboard. And it's going to go right to you guys. For me, it's defaulting back to the whole office. But what you're going to see is this right here. Okay. So from anywhere else, click dashboard, and this is where it takes you back to. When you start working and start uploading your contacts, again, that's another class. I don't want to get too complicated. When you start uploading your contacts or leads are coming in, right here where it says Smart CRM, you're going to see those leads right here on your dashboard, or you can go to Smart CRM. And they're going to show up right here. Again, don't panic. You're going to see just yours. I'm seeing everybody. And what you're going to see, I'm not going to go into this into detail today, but what you're going to see is their name and the different status and things like that. But I don't want to get too complicated, but this is where you'll also see your leads and your contacts, okay? Then you can click on the listings button. And what you're going to see, you have choices here. Right here where it says filter, if you click the filter button, you can see all of the listings. You can see just your listings by clicking my listings. And when I say my listings and apply filters, you're all going to smile because I have no listings. But just to show you, I have no listings, but if you did, yours would show up here. Go back to the filters applied or filter button and say agent. You can say agency button. And if you click apply filters, then I believe yes, these are just, agency would just be the champion's office. So all is all of them. My listings are yours. Agencies are just what's in the champion's office. Okay. And then all you ever have to do is just click clear filters and it brings them all back in. Again, listings, all listings show up, filter, you can toggle just to yours. You can even draw a map if you're looking for something specific. There's some search things here. Again, don't want to get too complicated today. But if you do my listings and you have listings and say applied listings, then they will show up here. And I remember correctly, it remembers your last filter. So again, if you did my listings and you come on here again, it should just be yours. Marketing Autopilot. This is the button that you will press when you start to get into working with it. Again, that's a class for later. Just want to show you where it's at. This is where the smart campaigns are, or what we used to call them in Powerhouse and Greenhouse were drip campaigns. And that's where these are. The real quick, the behavioral automation that we keep talking about, that artificial thing where they start clicking around on your websites and stuff, and all of a sudden you get a lead on that. This is where you would get to that. If you have clients with birthdays and housing anniversaries, this is where we will go to drop them into those different campaigns. So that's just this button. Again, that is Marketing Autopilot. We'll get into that later. Lead gen. This is where, again, another class down the road. This is where we're going to talk about landing pages, lead pages, or squeeze pages and things like that, just showing where it's at. Transactions we don't use. This is where if like Back Agent had been one that it connected to, this is where we would have connected it, but we don't use it, so don't worry about transactions. Listing Machine and social, this you are going to absolutely love down the road. This is where you can go in and set up your Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all of those to post for you automatically. It's a one-stop shop. Set it, forget it, and you can set things to post for you automatically. That was the class I had 3 weeks ago. We'll have it again in the next few weeks, but you're gonna love this, being able to set everything up. Not gonna talk about Web and IDX today. Marketplace. This is where there are add-ons for you down the road. Again, don't worry about this too much right now. Just wanted to touch on it, that this is what Marketplace is. It's just to let you know. Business Analytics, for those of you that really like to know what's going on with your business and everything else down the road. This will make more sense to you, especially when you get your leads and your clients in here. You can see how things are being looked at, who is interfacing with you, and things like that. That's what analytics is, and it literally will give you graphs and things like that. Now, my two most favorite important buttons for you, and Sharon, this is piggybacking on what you asked earlier. Not only do I do classes, but one of the things that we recommend that everybody, whether you're new, because everybody is new to Impact, is this button right here, which is the Learning Portal button. When you click on this, kvCORE has already broken it down for you into different trainings, things like that for you. What Lindsay's doing also is creating what she's calling the Gary Green University. So as she's doing trainings and getting all of those links, this is where they're going to go also, is in the Learning Portal. As you can see, they're starting to create boxes for you. Sorry, that word just went out of my head. So right here are the different things that they're starting to create. The one I want you to pay attention to is this one right here that says Agent Success Plan. When you click on it, and I'll show you again how to get back to it shortly. When you click on it, this is what's going to pull up. Yours is going to say start this course or sign up for this course for free. Because I've been in here so many times, mine says rate this course. I'm going to hit my repeat course to show you.
Hey, thanks for joining us for this Agent Success course.
Okay, so when you click on it, it's going to open up this window for you, and it literally breaks it down into the introduction and 4 weeks. Now, before anybody panics, not to worry, you can get through 1 week of training in about an hour and a half. When you click on week 1, it gives you the drop down menu, and it literally will take you step by step on Impact. What to do first, how to set something up, what to do next, how everything interacts with everything else. And literally, it takes you through it step by step. This is what I refer back to when I start thinking about how I'm going to do my classes. This is what I go to. And just to let you know that even before I teach my classes, believe it or not, I come back here and watch these videos, or I watch Lindsay's videos, trainings on it. Even Marlene had one for the coordinators that I jumped on this morning. Even though I'm not a coordinator, I jumped on it because even though I knew what she was talking about it, I still picked up a couple of tidbits from her training this morning that I didn't know about. To me, there's no bad training. All the training you can get is good. And when I said that you can get through a whole week of training in a matter of an hour and a half, it's because one video is 5 minutes, one video is 7 minutes. And then see how short they are? When you get through all of these videos, the very last thing that the commentator who's doing these videos is going to tell you is now the office has a overall 1 hour Zoom training ready for you. Back when this was going on, we were Zooming everything. So what they did, if you remember, I'm going to jump back, and don't worry, I'll do step by step again. I'm going to go back to the kvCORE platform and go back to my dashboard. And I'll put these in my notes when I send out the recording. Remember when I said the company announcements on your dashboard had a bunch of recordings for you? That's these right here. if you do the arrow over and you look for week 1, and right here at the top is telling you what it is. If you look for week 1, like see that says week 4, week 3, week 2, week 1. When you finish weeks 1's little bitty trainings over here in the learning portal, and it says, now look at the other recording, right here is your hour-long recording that recaps, and it will go into a little more detail of what you just learned that week. What's really great about these recordings also is that they were Zoomed. So our agents, and they were just for our company, our agents were on those recordings and asked questions, specific questions about that week of what they learned. And those questions are on that recording. So again, recommend doing the learning portal one first before you watch this. What we found back when all of this started is that agents were jumping on these Zoom meetings for an hour, but because they didn't do the weekly things that were here in the learning portal, they were very, very confused. So please do these quick little 5, 7, and 3-minute videos first, get to the end of the week, and then go watch those hour-long trainings. Again, it's like drinking out of a fire hydrant. I know it sounds like there's a lot for you, but there is. But what I do and what I did is, what I recommend is put the training on, if you have 2 monitors, put the training on one monitor and have your Impact open on another. If you don't have 2 monitors, then I recommend putting the recordings on your tablet or on your phone so that you can watch them, stop them, and do exactly what it's telling you to do. That's how I did it. And that's, I found the easiest way to do, because if you want a hands-on class, unfortunately with the Zooming that we have right now, that's a little hard since we're not really having people inside the office. But what I found to get my hands-on class is to put the recording on one device or one monitor so that I can stop it and see what it's doing on the other monitor. Sharon, did you have a question? I saw you jump on.
Oh, I didn't have a question. I just wanted to tell anybody that's on there new that I've been using it. Of course, Linda's helped me a lot, but the setup takes a long time. But once you get these campaigns and your information set up, then yes, you do have to go into it periodically, but it isn't, then it's pretty much automatic. Then you start getting leads, then it's done. So it's worth it to spend the time up front to get everything right, because then your campaigns, you create them and then you just, they do it automatically for you. And so when she gets into that, you can see it. So if you feel kind of like, oh, this is too much trouble, it is in the beginning to set up, but after you start using it, it isn't time consuming. Is that correct, Linda?
Yeah, that's exactly it. That's it seems very overwhelming in the beginning, and that's why we're trying really hard, especially myself and Shauna. Shauna's working a lot with the career development agents. Every Friday morning, she's breaking it down even for you guys, even into smaller pieces. I'm going to now rewind and go back to, I've done profiles, I've done squeeze pages, landing pages. I'm going to restart those after I do the website ones. But like Sharon just said, it is a little bit of work in the beginning. But once you get it done, even with your social media posting, and I know I've got like Lauren and Purock and other agents that have gotten their social media postings already set up. So like when it's a crazy busy day and you think, oh, I don't have time to post anything, the social media automated postings will automatically post those on those days for you. You don't even have to think about it. You get to pick and choose the content. Don't worry about that. You can tell it what you want it to post, but it'll post what you want. And as I've said all along, and I think Sharon will agree with me, as a manager, as a trainer, especially after working in this position for the last 4 years and working with top producers even before that. And I've even said this to people as I'm training going forward, the best thing that you can do for yourself and for your business is to time block. If you are a morning person, then I recommend, whether it's just 30 minutes or at least an hour, either in the morning, or if you're a night owl, then at least 30 minutes to an hour whenever you consider your quote unquote work day to be over. Don't tell me, oh, I'll schedule that at 1 o'clock in the afternoon after lunch, because I can guarantee you, I'm an agent, I can guarantee you that as soon as you set that time that you're going to do that at 1 o'clock, you're going to have a buyer or somebody that needs to go see a house. And what do you think is going to take precedent? Definitely going to show that house. If you do this in the morning before you start your day, and those of you that are brand new, when you start doing Fast Track, Lindsay and who's ever teaching Fast Track is going to tell you the same thing. Even when Sharon is working with agents, she'll tell them the same thing. You need to time block. So not to get overwhelmed, is if you will set a 30-minute to an hour in the morning and just say and tell yourself, this is all I'm going to give it. Just this 30 minutes, I can do what I can do in that 30 minutes, and then I can go on from there. Then that even makes it easier for you, and you don't feel so overwhelmed like you have to have everything done in one time. Again, to me, it's all about that time blocking. Real quick, and then I'm going to shut my screen down so that I can see all of you and open up everybody's thing. To get to the learning portal, you're going to be, when you log in, you're going to be on your dashboard. You're going to go to Learning Portal right here. When it opens up, you're looking for Agent Success Plan. Then once you sign in and do it once, when you sign into your dashboard, remember up here in the top right, it said KB Core Training Agent Success Plan. All you have to do from now on is go on there and click that. Go ahead and open up your mics before I stop sharing my screen. Is there something you need me to show you? Because if not, then I'll stop sharing and then I can see everybody's picture. Okay, so I'm going to stop sharing and I am going to, okay, so everybody, please feel free to jump on here, ask any questions you want to. And between Sharon and I, will answer them as much as we can. Oh, I see Lauren's here. Hey, Lauren, you and I have talked about time blocking a lot, correct? That's working, right? Oh, you're muted.
I said if I did it consistently, it would, but we're all guilty of it.
But when you do it, it works well, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Any other questions? Okay, I know you guys ask about, and I'll just address that real quickly. On your websites, yes, you can personalize the banner. We'll add your either your Real Satisfieds or your HAR or both. We have found a workaround to add your sold properties, and we can show you how to do that. There are ways to add blogs to that. There are also all kinds of things that I'm even not quite sure how to do, but I am learning as I see different people doing different things. There are some different aspects to that. If you are one of those people that you just want somebody else to take your website and take it up 3 or 4 notches, I know KB Core offers at a fee. They do have a service that they can provide to you to do that. It's not something I recommend until you really have used your website for a while and figure out what little things that we can do that will then, that we can do for you for that, but there are different services for that. I see Miriam and Morris, you guys are a little bit different in that you guys are a team. So your username is going to be the Brassfield team at GaryGreen.com, and then whatever password you want to reset to get it to. That was the other thing too. Tony, you and I have already talked about it. You are the Levinson team. The Santiago team has, I see they jumped on. They have that, but typically it should be your Gary Green email address. If it isn't, give me a Oh, I know, real quick, if you guys can just bear with me one more time.
Linda, I had something I wanted to offer too. Quickly, the chat, people really help you out when you have a question too.
Perfect, thank you. I
Yes,
forgot about that.
you're welcome. You're welcome.
So what she's referring to, everybody can see my screen again, right? Because there was two things I definitely wanted to go over. That was one of them. Down here in the bottom right corner, unless our picture is doing it, if you click on the little bubble with the little happy face on it, you're going to see this chat box open up. If I can't answer your question, or if it's at 11 o'clock at night, though I still answer questions at that time, if I can't answer that question, if you click on this chat box, you can put in your question right here or your issue. I know way back in the beginning, Lauren had some, and I wasn't able to get to her right away. She put it in there and they resolved it for her. It had something to do with her website. They will check that for you. If there's not a person on it at the time that you hit chat, they will respond back to you. The other thing I wanted to share with you, and there's a little caveat to it, when you go to Quick Actions and you click on Impact Library, if you've not signed in here before, it's going to, oh, perfect. It's going to redirect you to this right here. And what it is you're signing into the company's new cloud kind of thing, I guess is the best way to say that. The caveat to that is not going to be typically not your Gary Green email address. And I will put this in my notes when I send out the recording. It's going to be your username. And all of you are going to go, I didn't know I had a username. Well, you never really needed it until all of the new changes. Your username typically should be your HAR username. So like Suzanne Mason, whatever your username is, I don't know if it's S Mason or whatever, it would be that at GaryGreen.com. Or like for Tony, whatever his is, I think we figured it was Levi or whatever that was. It's going to be that at GaryGreen.com. And then the password is the same password that you use to get into your Gary Green email. So mine happens to be just whatever, and it should be the same as how you get into HAR. Okay. Once you click this, now if you put in your Gary Green email address, it's going to probably tell you that that account is not known. Then you're going to know, oh yeah, that's your username. And then if you put in your username and it says that account's not known, call me. But then it's going to be your password. Do not do forgot password. If it doesn't recognize your password, then you need to contact me and we need to put in a Happy Fox ticket. This forgot password is linked to your account, which your password is set up at corporate when we signed up your account. Okay? Okay, good. I see head shaking. Then when you hit sign in, it's going to ask you if you want to stay signed in. I never say yes. You guys can. I am flipping back between my account, Sharon's account, the office account. So for me, I don't stay signed in, but you guys can stay signed in. Okay? And then when you do that, then it's going to bring up the Impact Library. So, hi, Izzy. So this is where when corporate and I have been telling you that everything is being moved or has been moved to Impact, this is where it's going. This is the Impact Library. Okay. There are still a few things I noticed in Back Agent that they haven't taken out yet. I still saw the agent-to-agent referral. However, it will be eventually all in here. And the reasoning behind that is I know I'm running a little bit later. Can you guys bear with me just a few more minutes? The reasoning behind that is they want to make sure that we are being across the board using the same information. What they were finding is that I may have updated our W-9 that we send to co-oping offices when you do rentals. But let's say one of the other offices hasn't updated that, they're still using the one back from 2016 and they were running into issues or that kind of thing. So what they were trying to do is get everything into one place to make sure that you guys have the most up-to-date information and things like that at your fingertips. Now, if a form is available in zip form, so if it's a Trek form, a TAR form, a Gary Green form like that, that's available in zip forms, they are not going to put that in Impact, because you're going to go to zip forms, because then zip forms is going to make sure that you're using the most up-to-date seller's disclosure. You're using the most up-to-date IABS. Does that make sense? They're making sure of that. They're making sure that whatever you use, whatever you're sending out is going to be updated. Now, when you get into the Impact Library, and let's say that you need the brand new listing presentation that they've been talking about, they've already got it broken down for you in folders over here, Agent Resources. When you click on that, it brings up all kinds of things. Now, let's say that you popped in here, you can't find what you're looking for. If you put up here in the top in the search bar and you do listing and then you click go, it's going to bring up everything that has to do with listings. Okay. And right here, if you're on the relocation team, here's that e-relocation form, presentation for relocation, and things like that. If you find something that has, you've typed in, I think, is it inspections? I could spell. So right here, somewhere in there it was inspections. Then it'll start bringing it up. Right here is logos. Those of you who are looking for logos, they're starting to put those in here for you. Now, if you cannot see all of the same folders that I see, if you can't see all of the folders that I see, it's because all of us have different permissions. You guys are only allowed to see certain things. There are other things that I can see as a manager that don't trickle down to you guys. So if my screen looks a little bit different, then that's why. If you put in presentation, they were working on this link yesterday because it got broke. I see it's still not fixed. Today, they're going to send out an email when they get it fixed. So that beautiful listing presentation that we were showing you, that Elizabeth was showing you yesterday and that I was showing you a while ago, there's a digital version of that. That if you have a seller that doesn't want to meet you in person, they want to Zoom, you can send them the digital one and it actually opens like a book. And so you could send that to them as you're going through it over with them, and then you can send your CMA separately, but they do have one that opens up like a book. So any kind of form that you're looking for should be in there. If it is not, please feel free to email me, or you can email Happy Fox directly. There is an Impact selection that you can say, hey, I used to have this form, or I used to have this particular flyer in Powerhouse or whatever, and could you please add it back in? And then they will look at adding that back in for you. Now, granted, they're not going to add 75 individual flyers that everybody liked, but they'll try and get back the bulk of what everybody was using if possible. Okay, is there any more questions? Okay, great. I am going to, let me just check the chat box real quick. Okay. I will go ahead and get this sent out, hopefully this week sometime, with some other step-by-step instructions on how to get into some of those other places too. But please feel free to reach out to Angela and Shauna and Danielle and I. Even Sharon is really getting in here, embracing this. If you guys have any questions or whatever, I'm telling you, Sharon and I have been working on her recruiting for the past month. And even Sharon will agree, is once you get in there and you get using it, the more and more you're in there, the easier it is to work with. I know right now it seems very overwhelming and that there's a lot. Again, trust me, I was doing all this when COVID first started. But the more and more I'm in there, and even after being in here for 5 months, like I said, I'm still learning bits and pieces that it can do. And I've learned all about a new app that we can use that I'll be talking about at a later time. So
I just have to say that I was using Outlook for everything, for, reminders and everything. And I love Outlook, and the calendar was there, and I was very reluctant to switch over. And it's so much quicker and so much better on this. I'm glad I took the time to learn it, and I think you guys will be too. It is incredible. And it's going to build your business if you can. You need to learn how to use the basics, because that's where everything's going to be. Everybody asked for something to be in one place for years. And we finally, you don't have 15 passwords going all over the place. And then the second thing is you will get leads off of it, because it's pushing your name and your listings out there when you're not even thinking about it.
Yeah, real quick, I forgot to, thank you, Sharon, that reminded me. In one of the trainings that talks about linking your email to it, don't do that yet. I will send out an email when we're ready for you guys to do that, but don't link your email into ImpactJet right now. It does some different things with your contacts when it does that, and it doesn't categorize them right. So right now we're saying not to link your email to that, but we'll be able to do that eventually. And one last thing, and then I'm going to jump off here because I have some agent training. I know Billy's looking at me going, she's going to see me in a few minutes. Also to piggyback on what Sharon said, we did have a top producer that when we were first rolling this out, got and she was in it, but not really in it yet. Got a text message and an email real quick about somebody that was searching on her website, and sure enough, the client was. She called them, they met at the builders, she wrote up an offer, and they closed on a house 4 weeks later. She got that through Impact and her website and how it linked with the automation. So there's lots of things in there. I'm sorry, thank you guys for giving me that extra 13 minutes. I try to be respectful of your time. And just watch the back agent calendar. Shauna and I are breaking this down and just do little pieces right now. The first thing I can tell you is log in, set up your profile. I'll send out that video this afternoon. I did do a step-by-step on that. I'll send that out shortly. And then get into that learning portal, because between that and me, you're gonna have this down pat in a month. Thank you guys for joining me.